You're not still hiring based on resumes and gut feel, are you? Because if you are, you're not hiring. What you're doing is gambling. Trust me, I get it. I've done it all myself. Rushed interviews, cross fingers, and culture fit guesswork. But the results were hit and miss, mostly miss. In this short clip taken from a live stream that I did the other day, I broke down why the hiring process is broken. Not only that, but what it actually takes to attract A players. I'm not talking about posters or slogans or bring your dog to work day. Because the current hiring system is broken. I'm going to read you this description that my AI did for this particular episode, because if you go back to the episode before, I'll show you how I use AI as a strategic thought partner. I actually used it live inside an episode. So when I start this episode, he actually writes the copy for this. It's getting pretty damn good. So the headline was, "Stop hiring strangers, how to track A players without the bullshit." That's exactly what I would say. All right, if your hiring process still relies on resumes, rushed interviews, and praying for culture fit, tell me I'm wrong. You're not hiring, you're gambling. In this live episode, I'll show you the exact shift we've made to attract real A players, not resume warriors. Okay. So we want self-starters, smart problem solvers, people who actually give a damn. We'll break down why hiring processes attract the wrong people, what A players really want, which is not what you think. How to use signals, not slogans, to build culture during the hiring process. And talking about signals that make smart self-starters want to work for you. If you ever hired someone whose resume didn't translate to what they were actually able to do, this clip was just for you. And chuck a comment below if you're ready to stop hiring strangers and start attracting A players. Right, welcome to the launch, or the unofficial launch of what they call the validation process. So when a startup starts, what they do, or a smart startup, they go to market and see if people actually want the product that they're offering before that they build it. That's exactly what I'm doing at the moment. Dumb startups burn millions of dollars building a product and then wonder why no one wants it, why no one loves it as much as what they do. So if you haven't watched the previous episode on the reserve bench, I'm going to go through everything that you need to know today and see if you think that it might be a good fit for you, and actually give you a chance to invest in it for the highly massive price of $1. But don't need to worry about that just yet. That will all make sense as we come along. All right. As I alluded to in the video that you already watched, I might just lock this in now so it doesn't keep moving around on it. Hiring process at the moment. Okay, there is a lot of wasted time and effort. The amount of backwards and forwards that you do. Can you send me this form? Can you fill this form out? Can you go and do your medical? All these sorts of things. We're aiming to eliminate a lot of that sort of stuff. Not going to be able to do it straight up, but this is the goal of the whole thing overall. So we want minimal bullshit. Okay, minimal double ups. And this is what happens particularly when you get third parties like labour hire companies and those sorts of things involved in the process. All you do is double up the amount of paperwork you have to do. You have to fill all their paperwork out and then the client's paperwork. It's a nightmare. You spend more time. By the time you actually gotten on the job, you could have spent anywhere between 8, 10, up to 20 hours running around doing stuff that's never ever going to make any difference to you or your pay packet. Down the bottom here, it is because of all the bullshit that we go through, painfully slow. So we want to make this process fast. 48 to 72 hours. From a call, hey Beanie, we need someone, this specific skill set that can solve this specific problem. From then until you're on the plane and your butt's on site, that's the time frame that we're aiming to get down to. Right, a lot of this come back, just give you a little bit of backstory on it as well. This came about from a few This has been through the pub test a few times, this idea. And it came about, initially kicked off a couple of years back. Someone rang me and asked me, would I come back to WA and do a job on 2-1 roster? I said, no, I'm not interested. I'd been over in WA when COVID was on. So I'd spent nearly almost 18 months where I got home about 4 times with border restrictions, all the rest of the nonsense that went on. So no, I'm not interested in going back to WA to do a 2-on-1 roster. That means I'm only going to have like 5 days at home by the time I take my travel time out of it. I'm at home, on the job, I'm happy, working from home. Not interested. They really wanted me to come to this job, so they said, what would it take to get you to come across to this job? I said, well, you got a guy on 2-1 roster. I said, I'll backfill for him. I'll do 1-2, 1 week on, 2 week off. And they went, no way, that's never going to fly. It was actually the guy that was doing the roster. He wanted me to be his back-to-back. So that's never going to fly. He said, I'll put it in front of the client, ask them, see what they say. Came back within a week, 10 days later, and they said, yeah, we'll take it. Hence the 1 week on, 2 weeks off. And this is all about, this is specifically, the group that this is targeted at to start with is the group like myself, my age. So I'm 53 this year. So you probably had Pink Floyd albums. Guns N' Roses were just really starting to kick off as you came into the construction industry. They actually released Appetite for Destruction when I was in the first year of my apprenticeship. So you're of that vintage, maybe a bit older. You've worked a lot of years in the construction industry. You don't want to be tied to their rosters. You want to do the backfill. You want this bit, the reserve bench. I just want to come in and fill in when someone goes on holidays, you got someone off crook, someone's got family issues. We just need someone to be able to come in off the bench and fill that spot for a certain amount of time. So you'll say, this is when I'm available. If a job comes up, you have the right skill set, you're the right person for that job, then we'll put you forward for it. All right, so that's the backstory on how we got to the reserve bench. It was actually another mate of mine called Vorney. He came up with the name again via the pub test. Another guy that I know, talking to him about it. So we want to move from this quadrant down here, which is a lot of wasted time and effort and painfully slow to get on site. It could take you weeks, even 6. I've waited up to 6 weeks sometimes to get on site because of the bureaucracy and bullshit that you've got to go through. Up in this corner here where it's fast and there's a minimal amount of double up and bullshit that we need to go through to be able to get to site. You look at the labour hire model, this is the problems that I see on it, right? So it is just a numbers game. They'll all tell you, we've got a great culture and we've got this refined process and all the rest of it. It's all rubbish. From all of the labour hire companies that I've dealt with, I've never dealt with a good one. Not yet. It's literally a numbers game. And it's a number game because they make their money by skimming a margin. They couldn't care less whether you have the right skill set for the job, whether you're the right person for the job. They're just looking to get bums on seats. Anyone that's worked for a labour company that tells me that there isn't one that does that, happy to be proven wrong, but that's my experience with labour hire. Also, and this was actually come about on a project that I was on last year. They rang me out. Again, slow, a lot of wasted time and effort to get to the point to actually get to site. Took ages. They said, need someone straight away when they first rang me. Need someone immediately, been here. This project's in a world of hurt. Took them nearly 4 to 6 weeks by the time they went through the process to even get me to the point, interview and all the rest of it. Got to site. Didn't even have a laptop for me. Like, this project's a week behind. I'm in a senior position, expected to deliver a schedule and help get this thing back on track straight up. These guys didn't even have, it was amateur hour. Didn't even have a laptop ready for me, nothing like that. And the 2 guys that were actually supposed to be supporting the project, never heard from them for months on end. In fact, the only time I ever heard from them was when I chased them up. All they were doing was a numbers game. Putting bums on seats, skimming a margin. Didn't want to know about it after that. And I'll particularly reverse engineer this so I can't create that same problem that I'm complaining about myself. They'll literally take anyone. 2 arms, 2 legs and a heartbeat, pass the medical, within ballpark, what the rate is, what the client wants to pay, you're on. Let's go. Doesn't really matter what you know, what you like, what your track record is, whether you can provide something that's far more valuable than what they're used to having. Once you're on site, treat it like a mushroom. Tell you nothing about what's coming up next. They might feed you a bit of bullshit every now and again. Oh, we got lots of stuff on the books, we're quoting a lot of stuff, all that sort of nonsense. What happens then is you become demotivated and you're just going through the motions. Turn up, you get to the point where you go, well, I can't change this. So can't get any support. I've been flagging issues up, nothing happens. Don't get any support. It's just a numbers game. They're just giving a margin. They treat me like a mushroom. They're not really telling me the big picture, what's going on here and how I could actually help or change things. So you just go, I'll just turn up, do my job. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm getting paid for. All right, so to flip this model on its head, this is why we're starting small, and I make sure the quality is right. Once we get the quality right on a small select group, then we'll look at scaling up. Until that point, it won't happen. We will never ever play a numbers game where we're skimming margin. We will never ever put someone on site where they're not got the support that they need. We will not take just anyone. In fact, there's only two ways that you get in at the moment. You need to know myself or another guy called Daryl Kretschmer. Keep this really tight at the moment. That's the way. Camera just took off because wave my hand. That's the way that you currently get in. You have to know one of the two of us. You won't treat it like a mushroom because everything that I do, like I'm doing at the moment, is out in the open, out in public. And this will be actually, if you want to become part of this, will be put in a private WhatsApp group and you will get a weekly update on what we're doing, what we're looking at, where it's moving, how quickly it's moving, how quickly it's not. Full transparency. We don't want anyone going through the motions. So we're always going to be looking for the right person for the right seat. Have you got the skill set to fix the problem that they've got on site? We've all got different particular skill set. Mine's coming in and help turn projects around. I don't like running projects anymore or being involved in that side of it. Not what I do anymore. You need to get the right person in the right seat doing the stuff that they want to do so that they're not just going through the motions. We will have, and this is based on what I do with Scrum, daily check-in, 15 minutes. What's going on? What did you do yesterday? What are you doing tomorrow? What's holding you up? What problems have you got? My part of the puzzle will be to deal with the stakeholders, the clients. If you've got issues, you get held up by someone. If there's gear that's not on site, and we're not going to leave you in the spot, hanging in the spot where it's just like sink or swim. It's like we'll be flagging this straight up to the client saying, you have these issues on site. If you don't deal with it, we've got a really good guy there. He can't, girl there, they can't do their job properly if you don't get the gear that they need to be able to do their job. At the moment, it's referral only. So that'll be a daily check-in. This is the piece you're probably thinking, you're not going to do all this for nothing, Beanie. How are you going to get paid? This is how it works. So I don't know whether you've ever heard of a guy called Seth Godin or not. All right, I've done, let's say, on marketing. And he talked about what the pizza shops, Yellow Pages used to do to pizza shops in the US years and years ago. So they'd find a pizza shop and it would have the old landline in there, like yellow or black phone or whatever it was, okay? They'd come in and they didn't, instead of wanting to sell their Yellow Pages ad, so they'd just come in and say, buy my Yellow Pages ad. What they used to do is they used to come in and say, we'll install a green phone in your business. So a separate phone from the main phone line, different phone line. They would run the ad and that phone would start ringing because people were looking through the Yellow Pages for pizza. So they'd go back about 6 weeks later and say, we're going to pull the phone out, and the business owner would say, no, I want to keep it. So then they would pay for the green phone, and that would be how they would sell the Yellow Pages advertising. So for me, the person that we put on site becomes the green phone. I need them to be performing as well as possible, because what will happen is those clients will then approach me about coaching roles, coaching their site teams on how to produce better, increase their efficiencies using theory of constraint, Scrum, Lean, whatever it is. I'm also a project manager, so they might want help in that space as well. So I'm not going to take a margin, just play that numbers game and skim the margin. I don't need a lot of guys on site doing this, but this is going to become, for me, the ultimate business development tool. So you help me, I'll help you, you'll get your job, and then because of the work that you do, because it's going so well, because we're doing our daily check-ins and you're running so well, they're going to ask for more. They're going to say, don't take the green phone away. What else can you give us? All right. So that explains that part of the puzzle. At the moment, it is referral only. So it's either myself, approach me, or Daryl Kretschmer. Just reach out for a DM. If you got my mobile, you can contact me on my mobile. Or there is a form, which is on this link right here. And we'll flick that up right there. There's a form that you go and fill out. It's pretty simple. It says the reserve bank application. So you put email address in. You need to watch either this video or this video is just set there so that you know what the reserve bank's actually out. Who you're referred by, Kretsch or Beanie, what's your name, nickname's good, if that's what you want. What's your background, pipe, mechanical, structural, electrical, civil. Not hard to guess which my background is, going by the way that that's structured. Where do you prefer that I'll send you my PayPal link so that you can pay your $1? Right, let's explain that bit. I'll just have a quick look on LinkedIn. Make sure we haven't got any questions sitting there. Jump back on there in a minute. At the moment, all of this comes about via this book, this testing validation process, $1 million weekend. In here, what I have to do is go through and actually read you this page. That's why I've got the sticky note in here. There's a big difference between what people say and what people do. Everyone's interested until they have to pay. Even just putting a nominal amount, like $1, changes the game. It goes from, yes, everyone's saying, oh, that's a good idea, that's a great idea, Beanie, to, yep, I want to be involved in that. So if you want to be involved, what happens is when you fill that form out, you come back, I'll give you my PayPal account, you put your dollar in, I will then put you into a private WhatsApp group. That's where we address this mushroom piece of the puzzle. There'll be weekly videos in that. Sometimes daily, I'll update it. Sometimes it won't be every day, but there'll be a weekly video in talking about, like I am here at the moment, about what we're doing, where we're heading, what clients we're talking to, what sort of projects are likely to be coming up, what sort of problems do they need solved. Don't want people that are going through the motions. I don't want people that are willing or want to leave a legacy to the industry. Brilliant book. If you haven't read this, get a hold of a copy. I just gave Kretsch a copy the other day, actually. He's taking it. He's going down for a holiday soon. And he's going to take that book and read that while he's on holidays. All right, so let me do a quick recap to make sure that I haven't missed anything. I might put the pens in there. I'll do that afterwards so you don't want to sit here and watch that. The reserve bench came about because Beanie had a 1-2 roster and figured if we do it once, why can't I do it again? A lot of people told me, how the hell did you get that roster? It used to be the #1 question I used to get. I actually used to go on site and I'd go to different meetings and go, oh, this is a bloke with a 1-2 roster. I was known literally for that roster. Another mate of mine over in WA said, you'll never ever be able to do that. You'll never ever do that again. Oh, challenge accepted. That's too easy. I'll do that again. So, in this quadrant down the bottom, there's a lot of wasted time and effort, and it's slow. You know what I think about the labour game? It's just a numbers game, and they're just skimming a margin. There's no support. Don't take anyone. You treat like a mushroom and you're just going through the motions. That is not an environment where you're going to provide high performing support. Up in this quadrant up here, it's quick. Because we're going to refine this process, I'll nail it down so you do things once. You're not going out and fill out 15 different forms. Actually, one of the ideas that I've had is that you'll put all of your information maybe up into like a Dropbox folder. So if the client wants 100 different forms filled out, they can fill that themselves. They can get their admin person to go and do that. You put information in one spot, anyone can access that whenever they come, or not everyone, but they'll be able to access that when they want you for a job. They want you quick, and they can sort the bullshit out. They can we'll minimise the bullshit that way. Right person in the right seat. Go back to Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. You've got to get the right people on the bus, the wrong people off the bus, and the right people in the right seats. Daily check-ins for 15 minutes. Little green phone story, which is going to help drive my coaching, project management business, which becomes my ultimate business development tool. It's by referral only, myself and Kretsch at the moment. There will be other lads I'll be adding as we go along. Just going to keep this small, test it, get it right before we even look at trying to scale it. Full transparency will be via the WhatsApp group. There is $1 buying, the massive price of $1. And this is about leaving a legacy. Anyway, any questions? You can either DM me, probably DM me via LinkedIn. It's the quickest and easiest way to do it. What I will do actually is I'll drop below wherever you're watching this video, I'll put a link back to my WhatsApp as well. So you can contact me directly on WhatsApp. Any questions that you got. When you're ready to go, you know what to do. The link's there for, I'll drop the link for that form as well. Head across, fill the form out. I'll send you a PayPal link, pay $1, and we'll get this thing moving. Speak soon.